What's up, everybody? Treasure Hog is back again, and it is time for another PCGS submission. We have got, I believe, 21 coins here to submit and prep and get ready and to talk about, all the way from cents to dollars and beyond. So let's get right into it. We're going to start down at the bottom with the cents and discuss each one, go over their mintages and what grades I think they should get. So let's get to it. The first two I will put together here are a couple of uncirculated wheat cents. Now, these came from the mom and pop boxes, and I've had quite a few of those or rolls out of those over the last couple of years. If you know about them, you know about them. And we call these blazers. And I went through and picked absolutely the best one or two, and I chose these two to start with on submitting because you got to get really high grades to make it worth the money. But, I love the mom and pop boxes, and I felt like I needed to slab at least a couple. So I've got a 55S here. If I can get a 66 plus, it's a $50 coin. Of course, I'm theoretically paid a penny. And 67 would be 165, and then it jumps way up to 500 for 67 plus. And the 68 top pop is a $10,000 coin. Crazy talk, but really hoping for a 66 plus. But if I can get a 66, I'd be happy. So same with this 57D. Sorry about the horrible clarity. It's tough with these really shiny cents. Just beautiful though when they're in that good a shape. It's just crazy. The 67 on this would be $275. That would be nice. So we got to send them in, see what happens. All right, up next we've got ourselves a dime. And this is a seated Liberty dime, 1875. What I like about this one is that it is from Carson City. So I figured I got this out of my honey hole down the road shop, antique shop that has a nice selection of silver often. And I think I paid around 40 or 50 bucks for it, if I remember correctly. So got to send it in, get it slabbed. It's going to look great. An 1875 CC was a mintage of 4.6 million. And in a fine condition, F12 to F15 is going to be 90 to 100 bucks. Potentially could get a VF, but I'm thinking fine's probably where this one's going to land. So we'll get her slabbed up though and protected. All right, up next. So here we've got the big sister, I guess, $50, 1857, minted out of New Orleans. Now this coin could potentially get a clean designation. If you notice, all the fields in the back are pretty good shape. Doesn't mean that part's polished, but it's just surprising to me that they're not dinged up. But it could, you never know. Cat busts are the worst, but the seateds are tough too. So I'm really hoping for a straight grade 1. I also don't want to get damage from this ding over here and this over here. But even if I get a designation on it, this one needs to be slabbed up because the 1857-0 had a mintage of 818,000. So extremely low. Even in a VF20, which is where I think this will land, is 150 bucks. VF25 is 175, and then it jumps to 200 for VF30. I really think that's where it's going to land if it gets a straight grade. But the survival estimate on these alone for all grades is 600. So, there's only been like 215 of these graded from PO1 all the way up to, I think, the top pop of MS66. So, needs to be in a slab. So, that's where it's going to go. Beautiful coin. All right, what's next? Okay. Got ourselves a commemorative. This will be my first commemorative to get slabbed, and I figured why not go with the first ever U.S. minted commemorative. This is the Columbian Exposition. This is they minted these for 2 years, 1893 and 1892. This, along with that last seated, I forgot to say, it also came from collections I purchased. So I've been sitting on this one for quite a while. Just liked it. Didn't want to get rid of it because every one I've ever seen has been really worn. So I'm hoping for a mint state grade. You can see the reverse looks pretty good, but there are some issues on the front. It could get an AU, but I figured, hey, get it slabbed, get it part of the collection. It's going to be beautiful. The expo, let's see, where are my notes? had a mintage of just 1.55 million. So if I get it in a 62, 63, that's a $110 coin. I feel like that's where it's going to land. AU I didn't even write down. Is what it is if I get that. But I'm hoping for one, a straight grade, as always, and two, to get mint state on it. So we'll see. It's hard to get the luster to really roll on this with my light. The back is just in that good a shape. So, nonetheless, commemorative getting slabbed up. All right, what's next? Okay, here we've got a 1964 90% Kennedy $half, but this came out of a silver purchase I made with mostly 90s, a bunch of 40s, some dimes, some piece in Morgan dollars. But I cherry picked this one out, and luckily it's in a really good condition. But this is the FS 104. And you'll have to watch a previous video because I don't want to mess with my camera to put into the scope. It's a DDO. It's got some notching in the G and the O primarily, but it's the rarest one that I'm aware of, at least in terms of graded value, is the 104. And so I'm really hoping to get a mint state grade. There is quite a bit of chatter on it, circulation marks and dings. Reverse is pretty. But the 64D DDO has only 26 coins graded at all in mint state through PCGS. And then there's only 5 graded in the AU condition, and that's it. So there's literally 31 of these coins graded on the planet through PCGS. Even in an AU condition, it's $75 to $100. And then in a 60, it's $125. And if it somehow made a 63 on someone's greatest day ever at the grading facility, we're talking $225. So not bad considering I paid junk silver prices for it. All right, what's next? All right, now this one came out of a collection I bought quite a while ago as well, and I've just been keeping it. Never even really thought about grading it. I mean, I did because it's so amazing, but I don't know. I just never really considered it because it's not technically U.S. I guess it is, but it isn't. So this is the 50 centavos Philippines, 1945. And I mean, look at this thing. Or I'm sorry, 44. The luster on this coin is just incredible. Incredible. I'm sorry for all the glare, or well, that too, but the blurriness. I'm trying to show you cartwheels, and this one's just, I love this coin. I'm so happy I finally decided to get it slabbed because she's gorgeous. Now the 50 centavos, in a 63, it's only $60. A 64 is 85, 65 is 150, but I feel like it's a 65, and who knows above that. There's not a lot of good, like, photo grade pictures of the Territorial coinage. So my comparing of this compared to other coins I do was minimal. But I'm hoping for like a 65 on this. So we'll see. Could be high hopes from PCGS, but all right, now we've got the Morgans coming. So this is an 1891 with a huge gouge in the neck, so it's almost certainly going to get a damaged designation, but I wanted to at least get a details because it is a CC. So this came out of the Morgan collection. It's a CC. I've ended up slabbing every CC. This is the last one I hadn't yet because of that damage, but I figured, even if it gets a damaged on there, even if it gets VG details where I think it's going to be, it's a $200 plus coin. So there's only 1.61 million minted, and it deserves to be slabbed up. So that's where she's going. What's next? All right, here we have an 1899 out of Philly. Obviously not mint state. I'm shooting for a fine. It could be fine 12 or 15, and if I got really lucky, a VF 20. But the reason why I'm doing this 1899 Philly is because it's only 330,000 minted. Extremely low mintage Morgan dollar. Came in the collection. Getting these in high grades is just absurd. So we're getting her slabbed up. All right. Okay, up next is an 1884 out of San Francisco. Now, I love the toning on this for one, but I truly feel like this is natural. I don't think it's been cleaned or polished in any way. I do really hope for a straight grade on this. And it's just really hard to get high AU or mint state graded of this year. I mean, in the VF condition that I'm thinking this is, I think it's a VF 30, 35, maybe an XF 40 if I get really lucky. But it's 80, 90, then 160 bucks. And then it jumps all the way to 225 for an XF 45. So those are big jumps in those lower grades, and that's because they're just really hard to find in good condition. So condition's pretty good on this one. I'm not sure, one, about the polishing, cleaning, and two, there's some dings and dents here and there. But give me a straight grade, give me an XF 40, and I would be ecstatic. Okay, up next is an 1882 out of New Orleans. 6.09 million minted. This is just another one that's really hard to get good mint state condition. So this one I do feel is going to get a mint state. I think it'll be lower, but it does have a nice good luster on it. God, it's so hard to see in this light. I apologize, and the contacts, the marks that you're really seeing in the fields and even on the devices aren't. That's a lot of the lighting screwing with it. It's not. It's a little bit prettier than that, but either way, what I'm shooting for here on this 1882 is a low mint state. In a 62, it's 115 bucks. 63 jumps to 140. So there's a little bit of damage to the mint mark. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference, though. So first of the mint state Morgans. Okay, up next is an 1884P. Now this had a 14.07 million minted, but it's hard to get them in high mint state grade. So a 62 is only 78 bucks, but it doubles just to a 63 of 150 bucks. So it's just really hard to get them up there. The fields have a lot of light scratches that they could really hose me on and even take away the mint state. But it's a great strike, and the reverse is really nice too. So I'm hoping to get it. I think I'm shooting for the stars on a 63, but I'm hoping to at least get a mint state. So let's hope that these little field marks don't cause them to say, nope, it's circulated. All right, what's next? All right, here we have an 1891S. Had a mintage of just under 5.3 million. Another one that's really hard to get in those high mint state grades, or even low mint state grades, I apologize. This one has a lot of chatter, a lot of dings, but there's a full luster, full breast feathers. Even in a 62, it's 250 bucks. 63 is 325. So I would be ecstatic to get it there. But we're really hoping for at least mint state. Again, great luster. Just a little bit of chatter happening on the cheek and in the fields. Never know unless you submit it. What's next? Okay, here we have a 1903 out of Philly. It's 4.65 million minted. Incredible strike. Beautiful strike. It's hard to see it, but you can see some of this odd kind of hazy fogginess in the fields and even some on the devices. So I'm a little concerned about this one. The breast feathers are pretty light. You can see them there, but it's got a great luster to it. I don't know about this one. It could easily get the AU58, and even an AU58 is 110 bucks, but an MS63 is 185. So I'm thinking it can get a 62, 63, or 62 probably tops. Let's hope that it's at least mint state. What's next? All right, the last of the Morgans is this 1904 out of New Orleans. Now I'm taking a big gamble on this one and gonna shoot for a proof like. You know, it's not real frosty on the devices, the eagle and the bust and the wreath, but it does have a good, decent mirror finish in the fields, and that's really what you're looking for. So I'm hoping that they'll side with me on that. It's got some toning in the fields that kind of keep that away, but you can see that. You can see my finger in the reflection. So and there's a big difference in price, and that's why I say that. So an MS62 is only 78 bucks, but a proof like 62 is 155, so pretty much double. And a proof like 63 is 185. So I'm kind of feeling like it's going to be in that range. if it gets it at all, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, you know, but you never know unless you submit it. So the S's are renowned for having a proof-like appearance and not be proof-like, but the O's, you can get away with it, I think, some. So we're going to try. See what happens. All right, what's next? All right, so these next two coins are going to be pretty cool, and I actually have to call PCGS Monday morning to find out how to do this because I've never done it. But these came from Pa Spare Time, and I am submitting these two on his behalf, and I have another set of the two here, Britannia and ASE, that belong to Teacher 1388 that he won in an auction. I'm sending in for as well because they are all first strike eligible at PCGS. So obviously demands a premium. You want to get that first strike in, but these weren't even available yet, and Paul got them, and so there's not like a designated, this ID number doesn't match up anything in PCGS, so I got to call and find out, how do I submit these? So once I do that, then they'll get submitted. The Britannia is just beautiful. Just gorgeous. 2023. First coin with King George. 2 pounds. So once I figure that out, they're going in. Hopefully we get a MS-70 on them. Now, the last, well, there are 3 actually, so we're just going to run through these real quick in the plastic. Pa as well is sending in a 74D DDO that he found in his coin roll hunting early on and had always thought about getting it slabbed, so we're going to hope for the best there. A little jaded on these, but we're going to shoot for an mint state there. My buddy Hudson had a cat bust in his collection that he really thought needed to be in a slab. So I think there may get some scratches or even a polished or whatever, but nonetheless, it still needs to be in a slab. It's a beautiful coin. It's his first cat bust, so we're going to slab it up for him. It has a 2.94 million mintage, so we'll see how it goes. But the coup de grace that they are letting me slab for them or submit for them is none other than Miguel Hidalgo y Castilla, better known as Mikey, that was infamously found live in a mom and pop roll. 2.5 peso gold piece. Absolutely beautiful. And so I hate not being able to show you how much this thing shines, but he is a stunner. Now, Mikey, I don't even know where to begin on this because I've never done Mexican silver or world silver or gold. He's going to be submitted on his own. Because of that, it's considered world denominations. And I don't even know what to think. I think it's a high mint state. I think it's a 65 plus or more, you know. So I'm really excited to get Mikey slabbed up for eternity and back in Pa and Hudson's hands. Hopefully with a really high mint state grade. All right. That is it. What a submission, huh? Thanks for sticking with me for this whole video, and apologize for the length, but you know how I get. And stay tuned. Once these bad boys get back in, we'll be opening them up and see how we did. So until next time, Treasure Hog is out of here. Happy searching. Enjoy it.